everyone, welcome back to my channel. I would like to thank all my viewers and subscribers for their support. Today I made this video on a topic requested by one of the viewers, which is basic concepts of organic chemistry. Since this topic is of prime importance and quite lengthy, I have decided to split it up into three parts. This part of the video will explain the nature of organic compounds, catenation and classification. The second and third parts will explain IUPAC nomenclature, isomerism and reaction types. I would like to begin the video by defining the term organic chemistry. Organic chemistry is defined as the chemistry of carbon compounds or the chemistry of hydrocarbons and their derivatives. So what are carbon compounds? Carbon compounds are formed primarily of the element carbon. So when you look at a compound that is primarily made of carbon, you call them collectively as carbon compounds. The carbon compounds are also called as hydrocarbons to be more specific in terms that these are compounds formed by the combination of carbon and hydrogen atoms. I'm going to give you an example. I'm writing a compound called ethane. CH3 single bond CH3. This is called as ethane. This can also be represented as C2H6 because there are 2 carbon atoms and 6 hydrogen atoms altogether. This compound ethane is only made up of carbon and hydrogen atoms. Hence, these are called as hydrocarbons. This is an ideal example. Now, let's move on to the derivatives. The derivatives are compounds derived from the hydrocarbons where one or more atoms is replaced by the other groups or atoms. The example that I'm going to give you here is hydroxy derivatives. Now I'm going to write down the molecular formula of ethane, C2H6. So this is a hydrocarbon. We all know that hydrocarbons will only have hydrogen and carbon atoms. Now this is an hydrocarbon. How will you find out the derivative of ethane? The derivative of ethane having a hydroxy group is ethyl alcohol, C2H5OH, where you see that one of the hydrogen atoms is replaced by a hydroxy group. This is called as ethanol or ethyl alcohol, and this is the hydroxy derivative of ethane. So let's look at the facts on organic chemistry. The first fact is the total number of organic compounds known so far exceeds several times the total number of inorganic compounds known. This is because our entire planet is occupied majorly by animate objects, that is living things, than inanimate objects like the rocks, soil and water bodies that mainly contain the inorganic compounds. Next, the phenomenon of catenation and isomerism are unique properties of organic chemistry. The tendency of atoms of an element to unite with each other, forming a chain of covalent bonds, is known as catenation. Catenation is one unique property that an organic compound exhibits. I'll show you some examples for you to understand it better. For example, I'm giving you a chain structure called propane. Propane will have 3 carbon atoms. I'll tell you how naming works in the next video. So propane has 3 carbon atoms. I'm writing 3 carbon atoms, C1, C2 and C3. Carbon has a valency 4, so it can form 4 bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So each carbon atom is forming 4 single bonds with the neighboring carbon atoms. Now this is done. This is the property of catenation. I have written only a chain with 3 carbon atoms. Let's look at a chain with 4 carbon atoms, which is butane. Butane will have 4 carbon atoms. So I'm writing C1, C2, C3, C4. all the carbons will have 4 single bonds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you count, you will have 4 carbon atoms which are bonded to each other, showing catenation. This property is also shown by other elements like silicon, boron, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus and oxygen. Catenation may give rise to 2 types of compounds. One is the open chain structure and the other one is a closed chain structure. Let's look at some of the examples. Since I already discussed an open chain structure, I'm just going to write it. Propane is an open chain structure. It will have C1, C2, C3 and 4 bonds, of which it will form 3 bonds with hydrogen and 1 with the neighboring carbon atom. So this is an open chain structure for propane. This can also be written as CH3, CH2, CH3. Now, closed chain structure or compound, I'm again taking an example having 3 carbon atoms, but in this case you will write it as cyclopropane because it is going to form a cyclic structure. So we have 3 carbon atoms, C1, C2, C3. They are bonded to each other. You see that each carbon has formed 2 bonds. That is, C1 has formed 2 bonds, C2 has formed 2 bonds, C3 has formed 2 bonds. So remaining 2 bonds, it will form with hydrogen. So each carbon atom will have 2 hydrogens. So I am writing CH2, CH2, CH2. So this is the closed ring or closed cyclic structure. As already discussed, carbon possesses maximum tendency for catenation. This point is proved by comparing the bond energies of various elements. So these are the elements that I mentioned previously that they have a tendency of exhibiting catenation. So these are the bond energies. 85 for carbon-carbon single bond, and you see that 85 is the highest value of all the other values. Come to a conclusion that carbon is the only element that has maximum tendency for catenation. Next most important property of carbon is to form double and triple bonds. This is not just the property of carbon, but there are other elements which show the same type of property. But in general, carbon has a valency 4 and it can form 4 bonds in order to achieve the octet configuration to stabilize itself. So these 4 bonds can either be a single bond or a double bond or a triple bond. Thus the possible combinations can be, the first combination is all the 4 bonds being single. I'll give you an example. I'm writing an open chain structure C1, C2, C3, C4. So carbon number 1 can form 4 bonds. So I'm going to put 4 bonds, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Carbon number 2 can form 4 bonds, 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon number 3 again will form 4 bonds, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Fourth carbon will form 4 bonds, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is how you will represent the single bonds. This is for the first possibility. Let's move on to the second possibility. Second possibility is when carbon forms 2 double bonds. So I'm writing carbon number 1, C1, C2 and C3. Let's consider carbon number 2. This carbon is going to form 2 double bonds. One on this side, the other on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So its valency is satisfied. In this case, carbon number 2 is the one that exhibits this property of forming 2 double bonds. Now the third possibility. 1 triple bond and 1 single bond, because triple bond accounts for 3 bonds and the fourth bond will be a single bond. Now I'll write C1, C2. These are the 2 carbons. I'm going to consider C1. It's going to form a triple bond, 1, 2, 3, a triple bond on this side and a single bond on this side. So totally we have 4 bonds satisfying the octet configuration. This is the third possibility. Moving on to the fourth possibility. One double bond, so 2 bonds are counted, and 2 single bonds. Again 2 bonds making 4 bonds. We'll see C1 and C2. I'm going to take C1. C1 has to form one double bond, so I'm putting a double bond here, and 2 single bonds, 1, 2. The last possibility or most important concept in organic chemistry is when a compound or when a chain has only single bonds, you call that compound an alkane. These are highly stable compounds. I'll explain what alkanes are and why you name them so in the next video when I discuss IUPAC nomenclature. Second point involves double bonds. No matter how many single bonds are present in a compound, even if one double bond is present, then the compound is called an alkene. Can you see the difference? It's ene in this case and ane in the first case. Moving on to the next one, triple bond. Again, no matter how many single bonds are present, even if one triple bond is present, then you call them alkyne. Here it is KYNE. And when you look at the stabilities, alkane is the most stable, alkene is comparatively less stable, and alkyne is the least stable. Now let's look at the classification of organic compounds. They are classified into two, namely the open chain compounds and the closed chain or cyclic compounds. We shall discuss the first type, the open chain compounds. These are also called as acyclic or aliphatic compounds. So what are open chain compounds? These are formed when the carbon atoms are linked to each other in a linear fashion. What do I mean by a linear fashion? A linear fashion means that the carbon atoms are all arranged in a straight line. These type of compounds may also show branching or branched fashion from the main or parent chain of hydrocarbons, which are along a straight line. I'm going to give one example each for a straight chain and branched chain compounds. For a straight chain structure, I'm choosing a compound with 5 carbon atoms. When a compound has 5 carbon atoms, it will have a prefix pent. And I'm going to choose an alkane. That is, all the bonds formed by a carbon atom will be single bonds. So the suffix for an alkane is ane. Thus, the compound I have chosen is a pentane. I'll write down the formula. C1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 carbon atoms. The end carbon atoms will have 3 hydrogens attached because they can only form one bond with carbon. So the rest of the 3 bonds are formed with hydrogen. CH3 and CH3. The middle carbon atoms are already forming 2 bonds with the neighboring carbon atoms. So they will only form 2 more bonds with hydrogen. CH2, CH2, CH2 and CH3. So I'm just putting a bond here. In the formula of pentane, here you see that all the carbon atoms, that is all the 5 carbon atoms are linked to each other in a straight chain or in a linear fashion. Thus, it is a very appropriate example for straight chain compounds. For a branched chain, again I'm taking a compound with 5 carbon atoms. It's a branched compound. I'm writing all the 5 carbon atoms in this fashion, in a branched fashion. Generally, in organic chemistry, numbering of carbon atoms in a compound is made in such a way that the carbon which is attached to a functional group or to which branching happens should have the least number. Thus, when I number it from this side, 1, 2 and 3, this carbon from which branching happens will get a number 3. But when I name it or number it from this side, it will get a number 2, which is less than 3. Thus, numbering will start from this side. This will be C1, C2, C3, C4. A methyl group here which also accounts to the number of carbon atoms, but thus we see that the end carbon atoms will have 3 hydrogens, and this carbon atom has already formed 3 bonds, 1, 2 and 3. So it will be CH, and this will be CH2, and this will be CH3. So the naming is quite different. There are 2 different names that you can give. In general, a common name for this compound is isopentane. Pentane, you know the reason why it's called pentane. Iso means branching. When there is one branching, you call it iso. The other name or IUPAC name will be 2-methyl butane. This carbon atom is not included in the parent chain or the parent carbon chain. This is considered as a methyl group. Thus, I am writing 2-methyl. It is attached to the second carbon atom, so I am writing 2-methyl and butane because there are only 4 carbon atoms that are present now. So, butane or but is the prefix when a compound having 4 carbon atoms is considered, and ane because all are single bonds and it's an alkane. Please do not get confused with the numbers. Here C4 means carbon number 4. C3 is carbon number 3. I'm highlighting it so that you don't get confused. C2 is carbon number 2 and C1 is carbon number 1. These do not represent the number of carbon atoms, but this is just the mere numbering of carbon atoms. H3 on the other hand represents the number of hydrogen atoms. 3 here means that there are 3 hydrogen atoms. Here there's only 1 hydrogen atom. Here there are 2 hydrogen atoms and here 3 hydrogen atoms. Moving on to the closed or cyclic compounds. These are compounds with a closed chain of atoms. This is the exact opposite of the open chain where the atoms were arranged in a linear and branched fashion. This type is further divided into 2. Homocyclic or carbocyclic compounds and heterocyclic compounds. Let's look at the first type. Homocyclic compounds are made up of only carbon atoms, and this is also one of the reasons why they are called as carbocyclic compounds. That is, cyclic compounds which are made up of only carbon atoms. These are also divided into 2 types, aromatic compounds and alicyclic compounds. Aromatic compounds, or their criteria is the compound should follow Huckel's rule or 4n+2 rule. The second criteria is the compound should have a conjugated system or delocalized pi electronic cloud. The point is the compound should be planar. And the fourth most important point is the compound should be cyclic in nature. We all know that benzene is aromatic in nature. C6H6 is the molecular formula of benzene because it has 6 carbon atoms and 6 hydrogen atoms. Benzene satisfies all these points. It is cyclic in nature, planar as well as conjugated. Conjugated in the sense it has delocalized pi electronic cloud, which is very evident from the alternate single and double bonds. Benzene like this, there are 6 carbon atoms and each carbon atom is bonded to 1 hydrogen, and we have the delocalization. That is the conjugated system where you have alternate single and double bonds. You have 3 double bonds and 3 single bonds. Applying the 4n+2 rule to check if benzene is truly aromatic. We need to find the total number of pi electrons in benzene. All of us know that pi electrons will lead to the formation of double bond. Counting the number of double bonds, we have 3 double bonds. Each bond is formed by the sharing of 2 electrons. So 3 into 2 will give me 6 pi or 6 pi electrons, and I'm naming this as 1. I'm going to apply 4n+2 formula where n represents the number of rings. And we know that the number of rings in benzene is just 1. So 4 into 1 plus 2 will give me 6 or 6 pi. This is going to be number 2. I'm going to equate 1 and 2. 1 is equated to 2 and we see that both the sides are same. 6 pi is equal to 6 pi, making it clear that benzene is aromatic in nature. Aromatic compounds with more than one ring, for example naphthalene. Naphthalene has 2 rings. Drawing naphthalene now. These also are planar conjugated. They follow Huckel's rule and of course they are cyclic. Of homocyclic compounds are alicyclic compounds, or compounds which have a structure containing only carbon atoms. This is something that's similar to the first type, but the only difference is they are not aromatic in nature. That is, they do not follow the 4 criteria. For an alicyclic compound is cyclopentane. It is having a prefix cyclo because it's a cyclic compound, and pentane because it is an alkane in the first place having only single bonds, and pent because it has 5 carbon atoms. Here you notice that there are no delocalized pi electronic cloud, or there are no alternate single and double bonds. Hence, this cannot be an aromatic compound. That's why it's termed as an alicyclic compound. Last classification, which is heterocyclic compounds. These are cyclic compounds or ring structures which are made up of heteroatoms like nitrogen, oxygen and sulfur in addition to the carbon atoms. Even though they are non-benzenoid structures, that is, they do not constitute benzene rings, but they still will follow the criteria for aromaticity, giving aromatic compounds. Now looking at the example for a heterocyclic compound. It has a molecular formula C4H5N. So there are 4 carbon atoms. Based on the molecular formula, I am drawing the structure. 4 carbon atoms. All of them are linked like this. And there's 1 nitrogen atom present. According to the molecular formula, we see that there are 5 hydrogen atoms. So each of the carbon atom will form 1 bond with hydrogen atoms. Thus, we account for 4 hydrogen atoms. And the 5th hydrogen atom is bonded to the nitrogen atom. On nitrogen, because nitrogen usually has 1 lone pair of electrons. And the double bonds are like this. Of what we learned today, first we saw that organic compounds had 2 major divisions, open chain and closed chain structures. Then we saw that the closed chain had 2 divisions, namely homocyclic and heterocyclic. Homocyclic compounds had 2 main divisions, aromatic and acyclic. Topic for today. Thank you all for watching my channel. The part 2 and 3 videos explaining the other basic concepts in organic chemistry will be uploaded soon. Share and subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to press the bell icon for more updates. Thank you.